to my channel. It's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Happy 16th of December. So we get to do this bottom corner this time, and whoa, how many blues. I think we're on a blue kind of day. So let's have a look. P sort of starts in the top corner. Maybe let's go here because I'm working from this side. So we're going to go for 820. Let's do some dark blue. Let's tip quite a few of those out because it's a busy section of blue, this one. So I hope everybody is a-okay today. I had a very productive day yesterday with the kitchen. It's starting to look as though it's nearly there. It's not quite finished, but we had to sort of clean up and stuff ready to put tea on. But it's definitely got to the point where many of the cupboards are sort of back up to stay. They do need a final sort of roller coat, but we're hoping to do all that with the doors on because everything that's sort of hidden has had all its coats that it needs, so that's good. Still got the other sort of smaller half of the kitchen. I say smaller half, it's the bigger part of the kitchen, but it's smaller in regards to the amount of cupboards. It's not a big or a small wall full of cupboards. It's a big wall with just them really across the bottom. Things like fridges and washing machines and things are all in the way. Break up, don't need to paint those, thank goodness. So yeah, getting there. Still having debates over wall colour, but it's one of those. Painted a few sections of the kitchen. To see if the last tester pot that we got was any good. But yeah, topics to discuss. So somebody did do quite a few different topics to discuss for me. Sorry, I'm just gonna pull in my chair. I change between sitting and standing at this desk. Yeah, so one of the things they mentioned was favourites. So favourite movies, TV shows, that sort of thing. And books, I think they mentioned as well. So let's start with let's discuss books for a little bit. So I do like to read. However, I am also fully aware of the type of reader I am. And that is the type that when I start a book, it takes a lot for me to put that down. I'm very much, when I start reading, I will keep going. Quite often I've been known to be up to 2 o'clock in the morning, just reading because I'm so close to the end and I want to know what's happened. I like to read mystery books primarily, bit of crime mystery. If it's got a good twist at the end, all the better. In my book, I do like it when when you sort of don't know what's coming. So a few different authors that I read. I'm not very good at remembering them all off the top of my head. I do like, for a bit of a lighter mystery type read, I do like Mary Higgins Clark. In fact, I picked up a book when we were away in York. I spotted one of her books and I was sure I hadn't read it. Picked it up for £1 from the market in York, thinking, oh, I'll read this while we're away. turns out I had read it, so there were parts of it that was like, oh, I recognise this. Turns out I had read it, but I didn't quite remember enough to have spoiled reading it again. But I do like the way that she moves from person to person, so you're sort of getting their viewpoint on things. She doesn't just write in as though it's coming from one person, so I do like that. Each chapter flips between people, so that's a good author that I like. James, what's his name? I am so bad with names. Begins with a C. He also does, is it Corbin, I think. Yeah, quite like his books. J.D. Robb, which I think is Norma Roberts, who's a mystery writer. She has sort of a spin-off, whatever you call that. Another pen name, and that is J.D. Robb. I love that series of J.D. Robb's, the Death series, In Death series. I am a bit behind on those. I could probably do, in fact maybe that's what I can put on my Christmas list, because I have been known to go back and read them all again, and to sort of catch up to the new ones. Of course I was gone for quite a while with those. And also the Outlander series. Now that's something that's a little bit different. It's not a mystery. I didn't think that I'd like that as much. My mum suggested it to me, and I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed that series. The only thing is there's a good length of time between books, because they are definitely one that I could not just sit there and read in one session. It's a book I've had to learn to put down if I want to eat or sleep or function. I don't think, as much as I'm a quick reader, I don't think I could read that all in one sitting at all. But yeah, there is so long between books. Quite often when there's a new book due out, I know my mum will go and read the other books, and as I say, they're really long books, but she'll sort of read them all again to get to the point ready for the new one. Very much anticipated releases. And then I think there's a series by Jeffrey Archer that I've read as well. Probably should have looked at my Kindle before I came in. It took me a while to switch from physical books to Kindles, I must say. I do like a physical book, but I have gone to Kindle, but I do like to still to look as though I'm reading a book. That's the kind I like. So yeah, that's mainly my books. A nice good mystery book. Can be light-hearted. Being light-hearted is fine. But yeah, if it's more mysterious, that's even better. 137. No, that is the one that I need. It looked quite light for going in here, but yeah, there is some light swirls. Second guessing myself. Plus I do think the light is shining off it quite a bit. In regards to movies, there's a few that are sort of my favourites, I'd say. Armageddon is one. I couldn't believe I found out a few months back one of my children had never seen Armageddon. I was like, right, we need to put that right. And she did like it. What else do I like? Stepmom with Julia Roberts. That one really tugs at my heartstrings. I do like that one. I'm not a big film watcher. Like I will watch films or movies depending on what country you're in, depends on what you call it. We actually watched one last night. It was the Charles Dickens on the sort of the writing of A Christmas Carol. I think it was called something about the guy that made Christmas or something like that it was, but it was on Netflix, and it was all about Charles Dickens while he was writing A Christmas Carol. So it sort of went into his life and of course the life of the characters as they were evolving, so that was really good. And because I'd watched that, I then had to watch a version of the Christmas Carol. So we followed it up by watching A Christmas Carol. I can't remember what year it was in. It was actually the one with Patrick. And see, I'm rubbish with names. But Patrick, the guy who was in Star Trek. People are probably shouting it at the screen for me, but we watched that version with him in it, partly because it was included in Amazon Prime. There are so many different versions that are out there, and I think they all have their own little special things, so it was quite nice to watch that. And in effect, with watching that, you were getting the same story, but you were getting it in a slightly different way. So that was nice, rather than re-watching exactly the same film as what you may have seen before. Ooh. See if I can nudge that over into a place. So yeah, we watched that last night, and I like that. I'm trying to think what else I've watched recently. Films wise, not as much. TV shows, we're on a couple of TV shows at the moment. My husband and I, well, some of our tastes are very different, and some of them we both enjoy the same thing. So we tend to have TV shows that we will watch on our own, and TV shows, of course, that we'll watch together. So a few of the TV shows that I've watched in the past and really enjoyed, so they are older TV shows. One is Gilmore Girls. I love Gilmore Girls. I like watching that when it's a good show to watch where you don't have to look at the screen all the time. So it's nice to diamond paint too. I find it funny, they make me chuckle, which is always good. So yeah, I like Gilmore Girls. And House, I liked watching House. It did get a bit samey in sort of the setup of how each show would go. I found it did get a little bit samey, but the ending, the end of that series when it finished was awesome. It was a very, very good ending. I did like it. So yeah, that's one that I've sort of enjoyed watching. I actually enjoyed watching Black Mirror as well on Netflix, and was it Orphan Black? They're a little bit different to something I'd normally watch. They were recommended, but I did enjoy them. And then our current 2 TV shows that we're watching, if you've not seen either of these, I find them completely different, but I do really, really like both of them. So one is The Crown, which is currently on series 3, I think, and that is of the Queen. So I actually find it quite interesting. There are many parts that are, of course, factually correct, and then, of course, it has been dramatised. So you do have to have that in your mind while watching it, that it has been dramatised. But yeah, I did really enjoy watching that. I actually enjoyed watching Victoria as well. That was very interesting. So that was, of course, an earlier queen. And then the other one that we're enjoying at the moment is on Amazon, and that is New Amsterdam. Oh, and we watched it, I think it was earlier on this year. We watched the first series, so it's now series 2 is now out. Sorry, let me just change colours, because I don't think I'll be able to squeeze another topic in here after this. So let's get another colour in. So it follows New Amsterdam Hospital in New York. I'm not sure how, it did say something about being sort of true to events, but I'm not sure how much that is so. But yeah, we watched the first series, and oh, anybody who's seen it, the finale in the first series, oh, we don't very often Google as to when a new series of something is out, you know, we'll just sort of wait and it'll appear and that's okay. But oh, we did some proper Googling to try and find out when this series was coming back. And indeed, there was a time if it was coming back, and we were like, what do you mean? If? We can't not see the rest of this. We need to know what's happened. Like, it's so left you hanging. I'm hoping series 2 doesn't do the same and completely leave you hanging. I'm guessing time will tell, but oh boy, yeah. So it's back on now anyway, and we're sort of starting to find out. We've only watched the first few episodes, so it filters in sort of what happened at the big season finale. It's sort of giving you bits of answers as you go along in the first few episodes. So yeah, we're really enjoying that. But yeah, let me know any good sort of shows that are good to watch, to binge watch. I don't particularly like to wait a week in between shows. Oh, cannot get this last one picked up. I don't tend to like to wait a lot in between shows. I much prefer to watch something when there's a whole series there or something. But yeah, give us some ideas for once we've got through these two and need to find something else to watch. But that was quite a quick one today, because it was all a lot of the same colour, but we've got a nice big swirl going on here now at the bottom. Where are we tomorrow? Oh, we're up here. Tomorrow we should be able to see a bit more of the guitar appearing, but loving it. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. Any more ideas or things you'd like me to discuss in topics, still please pop them in the comments below, because I'm going to run out of ideas again, but we're doing good. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow.